Welcome to Jinx Thinks. Today on Riddle Me This, Ryan Hillegas. Extra, extra, extra. Read all about it. Mark Hillegas. While peeking into Ryan Hillegas via newspapers.com, I came across Mark Hillegas, Ryan's father. What I learned was that Mark Hillegas was involved in a lawsuit turned criminal charges against Patrick Schaller and the partners of SPA Associate Builders of Neenah from 1985 to 1987. Let us peek into the names connected from this mid-1980s case to the Stephen Avery cases. I won't read all of these articles. I will point out a few things to show connections. I will link these articles for the Hillegas family and this case against Schaller and all Hillegas family newspaper articles that I had clipped up until the point I made the spreadsheet. These are all in them. And what I will point out here is the connection between Ryan Hillegas and Mark Hillegas. This is a story from 1997 about the football team where Ryan Hillegas was the quarterback and they won the state championship, and they were going to be pictured on a cereal box that they would sell at Mark Hillegas's bank for a fundraiser for the American Cancer Society. This says, all profits will benefit the Cancer Society, a cause close to the players' hearts. Troy Bonnell, a member of the 1989 championship team, died from the disease. He was one of these kids the whole school can directly relate, said Mark Hillegas, president of F&M Bank of Hilbert, and Ryan's father. So here you have the connection between Mark Hillegas, a bank president of Hilbert, and Ryan's father. And I just want to point out this Troy Bonnell name, just because we all know that there's a Bonnell that gives out evidence. This would be her husband's cousin, just to mention that. On this page, we have the Post-Crescent Appleton from January 22nd, 1985. This is a two-page story. This is talking about ex-employees joining in on a suit against SPA. I'll read a little bit. Neenah, a group of former employees of SPA, Associate Builders in Neenah, is suing SPA and its owners and partners for at least $7.7 million for coercing them into a mortgage sham that has left the ex-employees and their wives as victims in the bank foreclosure on the properties involved. Also, the lawsuit alleges that Charles Patrick Schaller, one of the partners in SPA, threatened plaintiffs and their families with physical harm if they reported what had occurred to their attorneys and any law enforcement or regulatory agency, to the news media, or to the public in general. Schaller had denied the allegations, blaming the lawsuit filing on a disgruntled employee. There's no basis to it at all. The suit filed Monday comes on the heels of 3 lawsuits filed last week against Schaller and partner Daniel Arndt and SPA, plus another lawsuit filed in late December against the financially troubled large real estate construction company. And then it goes into a bunch of the lawsuits, who's suing this company and Schaller. It goes into a whole bunch of them until page 2. We don't see anything until the middle of the story on page 2. It says, in their lawsuit, the ex-employees alleged that they were assured that they were absolved of any legal or financial responsibility for the notes and mortgages they signed. The plaintiffs alleged that through this maneuver, SPA and its partners, plus Mark Hillegas, then of First Bank Valley Fair Branch, and David M. Johnson, of McClone Appraisal Services conspired to artificially inflate the loan portfolio, let's see if I can speak, and market share of the real estate mortgage market of First Star. The loan activity of defendant Hillegas, bank branch bank, and to provide the financial means to the defendants, Schaller, Arndt, and SBA, to satisfy the construction loans being paid off by SPA. The lawsuit contends that eventual plan was for the properties to be sold to bona fide buyers. The plaintiffs said in their lawsuit that they never lived on the properties in question nor received any rental income from them. The ex-employees are suing for at least $883 and $883,400 to pay off the sham mortgages they had signed, which have gone into default because SPA stopped making the payments on them. So here you have the employees suing Mark Hillegas, who was the branch bank. He was the loan activities guy of the bank. I think he was a manager of that bank of some sort. We'll go into that because it comes up in another article. So here you have Mark Hillegas is named as one of the defendants in this lawsuit for artificially inflating the loan portfolio and the market share of the real estate mortgage market of First Star, which was his bank. So we'll move on. We'll move on to this is the Oshkosh Northwestern, September 5th, 1986. I have, this is Real Estate Developer Probed. A John Doe investigation is underway in Winnebago County regarding a bankrupt real estate development firm in Neenah. Mark Hillegas, president of the Calumet County Bank, was granted immunity from prosecution Thursday by Judge William Crane in Winnebago County Circuit Court for his testimony about the financial dealings of the firm. A John Doe hearing is a fact-finding investigation to determine if there is sufficient cause to file a criminal complaint against defendants in a crime. A person's appearance at a John Doe investigation is no indication of wrongdoing by that person. Winnebago District Attorney Peg Lautenschlager, who was present at the hearing and requested the immunity for Hillegas, had no comment. However, it was learned that this was one of several John Doe hearings on the business dealings of SPA Associate Builders. Hillegas, formerly associated with First Bank Valley Fair Branch, was one of several defendants in a $7.7 million lawsuit by former employees of SPA. The plaintiffs alleged that SPA, Hillegas, and an aerial appraisal firm were engaged in a mortgage scheme that took advantage of the borrowing power of several employees of SPA. The suit, which was settled out of court without compensation, alleged that the employees lost credibility with creditors, suffered damaged reputations personally and professionally, and suffered severe emotional distress and mental anguish. The lawsuit alleged that the defendants conspired to use SPA employees to artificially inflate the loan portfolio and market share of the real estate mortgage market of First Star, the loan activity of the branch bank, and to provide financial means to SPA to satisfy the construction loans as well as provide operating capital for their construction business. The owners of SPA are Charles Pat Schaller and Daniel Ardent. In March 1985, First Star filed foreclosure suits totaling $5.7 million for 125 properties which were owned or sold by the firm. 123 of the properties were subsequently sold at a sheriff's auction a year later. Sheriff's auction. Marine Bank of Appleton, which took over First Star, had held the first mortgages on the properties, bought 118 of the properties. Schaller and Arndt could not be reached for comment. So here you have Winnebago District Attorney Peg Lautenschlager, who requested the immunity for Mark Hillegas. She had no comment. This is the Post-Crescent, Appleton, December 22nd, 1986. The bank official and Schaller met. A former bank official testified today that he met on a number of occasions with Charles Pat Schaller to discuss financing of property owned by Schaller's SPA Associates builder. Mark Hillegas appeared at a preliminary on 11 counts of felony theft by fraud against Schaller as partner in SPA Builders. Schaller, who lived in town of Menasha, is alleged to have sold SPA properties to employees and then obtained the loan money to correct cash flow problems in the company. Hillegas said that he and his supervisor, Tom Clifford, met with Schaller at the latter's office on at least one occasion to discuss financing. At the time, Hillegas was manager of the Valley Fair branch of First Star Bank. It's now Marine Bank of Appleton. Hillegas now lives in Hilbert and works for the State Bank of Hilbert. He said the branch bank's portfolio was growing rapidly and we wanted to slow it down so the bank could catch up. He and Clifford met with Schaller because the next year, 1985, the bank would be looking for a substantial amount of business and had hoped to work with them, SPA. Under questioning by Winnebago County District Attorney Peg Lautenschlager, Hillegas reviewed the documents involved in all 11 loans connected with the charges. He testified that he did not specifically recall any of the transactions. At the time, SPA Associate Builders of Neenah was the Valley Fair branch's biggest customer. A bank loan officer who dealt with mortgages on the properties owned by SPA testified that she did not remember any of the specific procedures involved in these loans. Ellen Disher, who works for Marine Bank of Appleton, said that while she recognized handwriting and initials on a loan application as her own, she did not remember the specific documents. According to the complaint, First Star's Valley Fair branch, of which Disher was assistant manager, issued loans to Schaller's employees. The loan money was allegedly turned over to Schaller. Daniel Weigel, a former employee of First Star, also reviewed documents today. It was his duty to prepare loan analyst sheets for bankers or bank officers who granted mortgages. He said that he prepared most of the loan analyst sheets at the Valley Fair branch, but he, too, did not remember any of the specific transactions involving Schaller's properties. So here in December of 1986, after Mark Hillegas was given immunity from what seems like 11 charges of fraud, he can't recall. He can't recall any of the transactions. He did not specifically recall any of them. I find that to be interesting considering the immunity charges, the immunity he was given on charges, because he would have been charged as well. He was named in the lawsuit. Let's move on. This is the Oshkosh Northwestern, June 10th, 1987. Banker says he was fooled by false mortgage claims. The banker who made most of the who approved most of the mortgages made on behalf of SPA Associate Builders, Nina, told a jury that he wouldn't have approved the transactions had he known the information on the applications was false. Mark Hillegas was an officer at the Valley Fair First Star Bank, the bank which issued the mortgages on SPA properties. SPA is co-owned by Charles Pat Schaller, 38, of Menasha. Schaller is on trial this week in Winnebago County Circuit Court on 8 counts of theft by fraud. Hillegas, now president of Hilbert State Bank, Hilbert, was one of the prime witnesses last fall in a series of John Doe hearings regarding the SPA. Hillegas was granted immunity from the prosecution for his testimony. Winnebago County District Attorney Peg Lautenschlager went through a number of bank documents which Hillegas identified as various mortgages he approved, while witnesses testified that they falsified information on the loan applications at the Schaller's request to receive the mortgages. Hillegas testified that he had no knowledge that the information such as home addresses, income information had been falsified. Had he known, he probably would not approved the transactions, he told the court. He probably would not have. He probably would not have. Wouldn't it be he would not have? The charges against Schaller allege that the properties sold were owned by SPA. After they were sold to various SPA employees and their fiancés and spouses, the properties located in the Nina Menasha area were then sold back to SPA by land contract. SPA was involved in building single-family homes, duplexes, and apartment condominiums, as well as general contracting, homes, rentals, and sales. Authorities were told by the people involved that they entered the transactions to secure their jobs, assist Schaller with his cash flow, and enhance their personal credit rating. First Star Bank, now called the Marine Bank, lost more than $500,000 in the transactions. This one's the Post Crescent, Appleton, just the next day, June 11th, 1987. Bankers not aware of scheme. Two key bankers testified at Charles Pat Schaller's theft by fraud trial Wednesday, contradicted each other on several points, but both said they were not aware of a phony mortgage scheme Schaller allegedly engineered. Defense attorneys contend that the First Star Bank of Appleton's officials knew of the mortgage loan scheme and encouraged it as part of an effort to expand the bank's residential loan portfolio. First Star Valley Fair branch manager and his supervisor acknowledged they had sought out mortgage loan business from Schaller's firm and that they were interested in expanding their residential mortgage business. But they said they were not aware that Schaller was having employees give false loan information in order to obtain the mortgages, or that Schaller was taking control of the mortgages. Schaller, 37, of Nina, is accused of 8 counts of felony theft by fraud for a 1983 and 84 transactions, mostly related to development of Memorial Park Estates in Nina. Schaller was a partner in the now defunct SPA Associate Builders of Nina. Mark Hillegas, First Star's Valley Fair branch manager at the time of the dealings, said that he had warned his supervisor about several possible improprieties in the SPA loan transactions. Hillegas said he voiced concerns about Schaller's employees being, page 2, involved in the mortgage loans at once, but was told by his superior bank vice president, Thomas J. Clifford, to continue making the loans. Hillegas said he also had concerns about loans being made on unfinished properties with no on-site inspections, but Clifford approved of the procedure. Mr. Clifford said, "Don't be concerned about that," Hillegas testified. Clifford, on the other hand, did not recall any warnings and said he did not approve of the questionable procedures. Clifford said Hillegas had reassured him that the dealings were going smoothly. Clifford said it was not until he inspected the files at the Valley Fair office himself that he discovered the problems with the loans. Information about SPA employees' multiple mortgage debts with First Star was not included in forms sent from the Valley Fair office to the main bank's loan committee, Clifford said. Hillegas received immunity from prosecution in exchange for his testimony last year at the John Doe hearings investigation, the Schaller dealings. Employees have testified that they turned over the loan money and the deeds to Schaller, and we go into a whole bunch of other stuff that they already talk about, the $500,000 loss. Hillegas confirmed the sent a mortgage coupon books directly to Schaller, which defense lawyers say indicate the bank was aware of what was going on. But Hillegas said he thought the mortgages were paid through payroll deductions. Defense attorney Stephen Glenn, another recognizable name, questioned how that was possible since some of the employees worked for subcontractors and not SPA. Hillegas acknowledged he had never seen any paperwork indicating a payroll deduction plan. Evidence indicates that SPA employees took out mortgages while having other outstanding mortgage loans, which would normally be against bank policy. Clifford recalled at least 2 meetings where Hillegas and Schaller were present. Memorial Park Estates was one of the best thought-out developments that I had seen in the Fox cities, Clifford had said. Okay. So here you have Hillegas' immunity testifying against, and he's basically trying to throw his vice president, Thomas J. Clifford, under the bus, and Clifford's like, no, that's not what happened. Hillegas said it was going smoothly. He wasn't sending these paperwork to the main bank, and they've had at least 2 meetings, and I want to also point out that Schaller's defense attorney was Stephen Glenn. So we all know who Stephen Glenn is, right? Stephen Glenn was also a lawyer for Stephen Avery in 2005. I'll kind of go into that conclusion. This is the Post-Crescent Appleton from June 13th, 1987, when the Neenah developer was found guilty of fraud. He faced up to $10,000 in fines and up to 10 years in prison for each of his counts. Sentencing was set for July 29th of 1987. The jury only deliberated for 8 hours before reaching a verdict shortly after 11 p.m. Winnebago County District Attorney Peg Lautenschlager said Schaller directed employees to falsify mortgage loan applications and information and to overturn loan money and deeds to the development company SBA Associate Builders of Neenah. She says, it says all 8 loans cited in the case were made through the Valley Fair branch of First Star Bank of Appleton. It was later acquired by Marine Bank. The First Star Bank was defrauded of $545,000 in transactions, according to bank officials. The money was allegedly used to alleviate cash flow problems of SPA Associate Builders. Lautenschlager noted that even if the bank's loan practices were sloppy, a corporation's negligence is not a defense in the charge of theft by fraud. Yes, there were some pretty crazy things that happened here, but I maintain to you that the bank did not know that the bank was deceived. The bank was defrauded, she said. Lautenschlager said there was no reason for Schaller to pay employee sums of $250 to $1,000 in exchange for participating in the phony mortgage loan deals if there were no intent to deceive the bank. If he wasn't interested in deceiving the bank, there was no reason to give all the false information to them. Defense attorney Stephen Glenn of Milwaukee questioned the credibility key witness Mark Hillegas, who was then manager of First Star Valley Fair Branch. Several points of Hillegas' testimony were refuted by other witnesses, according to Glenn. Hillegas knew Schaller was taking control of the loans because the bank sent mortgage coupons directly to Schaller, Glenn said. Hillegas testified at the John Doe hearing in 1986 that led to the charges against Schaller. Schaller already had received $2 million loans and several short-term notes to finance the Memorial Park Estates project in northwest Neenah, Lautenschlager said. The mortgage loans added another layer of financing that was like robbing Peter to pay Paul, she said. So Stephen Glenn, who was the lawyer for Schaller, didn't believe Mark Hillegas whatsoever. He felt that testimony had been refuted and that he knew what Schaller was up to by sending him these coupon books and trying to get the mortgages, I guess, for their bank. So in conclusion, everyone is connected. Mark Hillegas, father to Ryan, was connected to Peg Lautenschlager when she was the Winnebago DA in the mid-'80s. She gave him immunity for testimony instead of prosecuting him along with Schaller in a mortgage fraud scheme. Peg Lautenschlager was the Attorney General that found no wrongdoing by the MTSO in the 1985 wrongful conviction of Stephen Avery. Lautenschlager is the top dog to Fallon and DCI agents like Fassbender and Strauss, who worked for the DOJ in 2005. Also noted that the defense lawyer for Schaller in 1987 was none other than Stephen Glenn. Glenn would become Stephen Avery's civil lawsuit lawyer in the case against Kosoric, Vogel, and Manitowoc County in 2004. Thank you for joining Jinx Thinks.